was the premiere last night? Oh,
Oh,
fantastic.
yeah.
Are we rolling?
We're rolling, yeah.
Well, it was, you know, it was a wonderful experience. We premiered last night, and I hadn't seen the full last version of the film, so I was really excited and nervous, and it was a wonderful audience with a standing ovation, so I couldn't be more humble and happy for the warm reception that we had.
It's exactly the kind of film where you want to sit with the audience and see their reaction and feel how they see it, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, you don't have to see it, but it's interesting in a large group how you can feel when in breaths and in people's emotions and sounds. It kind of is a wonderful thing to see a film for the first time with an audience, because you kind of, as an actor, I think it helps you to get away from, you know, take it 2 steps back and see the film from a bit more of an outside perspective.
It must have been so fascinating to play Gerda. Not only was she ahead of her time, but she was such a fascinating woman herself and everything she did. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yes, I mean, it's a wonderful journey that these, you know, to see that these 2 people go on in a time where there was no reference of this and the journey that Lily needs to go on to, you know, to transition and to become herself, and for those people to be emotionally and intelligently strong enough to see this and be able to act, because they know deep down that this is the only way you can go on. And I just have an immense, I don't know, I admire Gerda so much for able to kind of just see within a person their true self and, you know, be able to support that the whole way through.
Was your research based on the, you know, real life events and also on people who are surrounding people with, you know, gender transition?
Definitely. I mean, we did a lot of research going back, looking, you know, trying to find information about Lily and Gerda at the time. But I myself, portraying Gerda, I remember I picked up this book called My Husband is a Woman Now, written by a wonderful woman called Leslie Fabian, who I've also afterwards talked with, and I've read, you know, other books, and I've met people who have had loved ones that goes through this transition. And what was interesting in their story was, you know, the immense support that they have. And Leslie, this woman, still is with her spouse after the transition, but she said, sometimes people forget that I also went on a transition myself. And when she said that, I felt like, well, that is my, you know, that's the story that I need to tell, and a very important one. And I think it's also the great thing about how Tom has taken on this film and how he's presented it and how the script was, that it's quite rare to see 2 leading roles having, you know, equal amount of kind of, hopefully, you know, the connection as having very individual stories being told, but on the same journey together, parallel. And I thought that was very strong.
Absolutely, everybody's transitioning in this film in a way, the audience as well, because the movie's, I mean, the subject matter is so topical now, although when the movie started as a project, it was not as current. So do you feel there's a little bit of serendipity in all this?
I mean, current is sad to say, because,
yeah,
you know, because the transgender community still has such a hard time to get recognition, and all people with this inner selves. I mean, this is just the first story of a person who's, you know, who actually was able to, you know, to speak up and dare to do that even in a society where it was sometimes even illegal. So for this film to just be, you know, I'm happy to know that finally, it feels like over the past few years that they get somewhat of, you know, media attention and awareness, its conversation starting, and that this film can kind of come out in an important time like this is just wonderful. If we can help that awareness and shed a light on this subject, then that will be wonderful. I hope we will.
Well, award buzz is already attached to the film, to your performance, to Eddie's. How important would that be to that subject matter as well, the heightening, raising awareness about the subject matter?
Well, it is, you know, we're storytellers, and it's a wonderful incredible, unique love story as the essence of this film. But then, of course, this is an important story to tell, and like I said, if this film can in somewhat way be part of the already immense awareness that have kind of started, if we can help this, because it's about civil rights, about people being able to be themselves, which is the most important thing, and everyone's single right.